Curse Gaming on the blue side going up against Team To Be Determined on the red side. And while Curse Gaming might not have the tankiest of compositions overall, they're definitely packing a punch. We'll have to see if it's going to wind up tearing through the lineup of a tanky Jarvan and Shyvana from the side of Team TBD.
This is going to be very interesting. To Be Determined have a lot of really strong poke and potential split push combination as well, as they can just send the Shyvana off on her own and utilize the poke coming out from Zigs, the poke coming out from Lucian, and the sustain from Sona to just kind of get those extended sieges going down. We see Curse, they do have a decent lineup against that. You know, they can use the Nami ultimate. Sivir can pop her ultimate and try to get the team into the fray. They can use Voyboy to poke back out. Quas can always flash and get the ultimate down to make some sort of initiation happen. But that's going to be kind of a tenuous situation for them, especially given the fact that Quas is most likely going to be the guy that's stopping that split push.
Well, we do have Curse Gaming. They don't really want to line up at the line of scrimmage here. They want to try to get forward vision as quickly as possible. So the line coming out from TBD collapses almost immediately on top of them. However, BrokenShard's going to take a lot of pain for his troubles right there. He's actually going to have to recall going down to about half HP. Curse Gaming, they're going to be the ones to win themselves a little advantage in the vision war by putting down a ward by their enemy red buff. At the same time, they already had one down by their own, so they are well aware of that deep Wraith ward that Bubbadub actually was able to put down for Team TBD. So aside from that and the ward action going down early on, nothing all too much. It's just a little bit of poking going back and forth. We'll have to see where the junglers wind up starting.
So see, IWillDominate, he does just dip into range of this ward. I thought for a second that he wasn't going to get spotted out and that To Be Determined weren't going to definitively know which side of the jungle he started on. But he did walk in, he did just show himself on the very edge of the range. So To Be Determined, they will know that he is going to start up on the red buff, and they will know to plan their lanes out accordingly, rather, as it does look like we will be seeing 2v2s and 1v1 matchups.
Standard lanes so far on the Rift, as Zekent and Kopp going to wind up helping Dominate with that red buff. As we did say, TBD is hit to this one, so Dominate's not going to be exactly a sneaky spider in this regard. And we are going to see BrokenShard starting at his own blue buff over here after getting Elise from the dual lane of the side of TBD. So Kennen versus Shyvana in the top lanes we can see on the screen right here. Like we said, this is kind of going to be like a someone who can poke and prod going up against somebody who can take a lot of pain in the face and then just kind of shove the wave back down upon Quas.
Absolutely, yeah. See Westrice starting with a Doran Shield. This is, and actually Quas is starting with a Doran Shield as well, just given the extra HP and the health regeneration. I don't think he's as concerned so much with taking as many auto attacks from Westrice, as generally speaking, if Shyvana gets into range to auto attack Kennen, Shyvana is very likely going to end up stunned very quickly, and Quas will be able to beat a hasty retreat. But it will give him a lot of just health regeneration when he takes those like minor bits of damage from the creeps while he steps forward and tries to harass. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, Kopp already getting pressured by ROBERTxLEE.
Yeah, Robert and Bubbadub hitting an early level 2 compared to Kopp and Zekent down there, so the harassment commences in that very poke-heavy Lucian and Sona lane, where meanwhile up towards top we do have Dominate patiently waiting in the brush. They knew where BrokenShard was, and they knew how long he was taking on that red buff, so Dominate's going to pounce on here on Westrice, has to flash away from the cocoon. Spiderling goes out, down below half HP. Westrice, Summoner Spell has been burned.
And that's a very effective gank early on from IWillDominate. Didn't have to invest all that much in it, just made his way up towards the top lane after the blue buff. This is that 3-minute double buff gank that we see from junglers again and again and again. And this time, you know, Westrice just pushed a little too far forward. And that's, you know, good play by Quas, just kind of very patiently allowing the wave to push into him, not going too hard and just harassing repeatedly and endlessly.
That lane's going to be frozen on Curse's side of the river, so Westrice is not going to have a fun time trying to keep himself CS heavy in that top lane matchup. Already falling behind by about 7, we see him and BrokenShard potentially going for those double golems. Or meanwhile, in the bottom lane, it's Kopp that's actually getting bullied around a little bit. 22 compared to 11 CS right here. I mean, we discussed it very briefly in Champion Select here, Malfus, but what makes this Lucian Sona lane so powerful?
It's just the ridiculous amount of poke that they have, and then even if you do answer that poke back, there's the Sona sustain, which generally speaking is on par, if not better than Nami sustain. In fact, I think Nami pretty much has to get the double wave of heal down in order to kind of even remotely compare to Sona sustain. So they just have so many options available to them, and there isn't a whole lot of strong counterplay to it, except for that.
Yeah, bubble landing on Robert's going to be one way to deal with it. He's dropping down very low, has to pop the barrier. Spell Shield is active, flash forward from Kopp, and there's first blood going over to Curse Gaming. Zekent's going to take a little bit of pain from Bubbadub, but he can't do anything in a 2v1 situation, and Sivir comes out from under tower with a vengeance.
That's one of the most dangerous situations to find yourself in against a Sivir, is when you're pushing up under her tower and she has the opportunity to really utilize that passive to continue to chase you down again and again and again. And if you try to stick around and get auto attacks with her, it's going to allow her to close the gap and continue getting the last word. That was just really strong play from the side of Curse there. They both use their flashes, so they are going to have to be very careful about BrokenShard coming back down to this bottom lane, but they did get that kill. And now Westrice is getting ganked again.
Westrice with no flash available to himself and a level disadvantage winds up going down to Quas almost by himself. Dominate comes in for a quick assist grab right there, and poor Westrice on Shyvana. It's the first time we've seen him playing it, and he's not having the easiest of times up here.
It's been a very, very difficult matchup. Quas is he's just raining down the auto attacks. It's very difficult for Shyvana to deal with in the early game. It's going to take some time to scale up and actually get the regeneration or slash lifesteal slash tankiness that he'll need to keep himself in that lane. So the fact that he had that summoner blown early on forced a more passive playstyle from him, and it wasn't even enough at that point. He still got caught out, and IWillDominate was still able to help pick up that kill.
Bottom lane, we see some aggression once again as Cop pops the spell shield, but a little bit too late there for the Lucian Q. Bubble goes down onto Bubbadub, but there's no way they're going to trade that close to the tower range from the side of Team TBD. So Curse Gaming, now that they got that kill on the bottom side, they're going to be the ones to aggress a little bit further here. Now we take a trip to mid lane where we haven't really talked all too much about this matchup. We're going to have to wait and see if BrokenShard is going to come in and try to get something done. He does kind of show his face there for a second, then immediately runs away, potentially going towards top lane to try to help out here. There's a ward in the river brush though, so Quas is going to be kind of keen to what BrokenShard wants to do here, and as soon as he steps towards that brush, we see Quas immediately take a step backwards. Bottom lane, the trades continue to go on. Now as Zekent takes a little bit of poke from his troubles against ROBERTxLEE, throws down the W right there, Cop down below half HP. Bubbadub and Robert now starting to turn this one around. Zekent's going to take more poke right there. There's the passive being proc. Heal goes out to try to see if Zekent, the Ignite's not going to be enough to pick up a kill on him. Bubbadub threw that one down, but Dominate now coming around through the tri-brush. They have that one warded. They are going to back away from it, and so far just a lot of action across the map, but no kills going down after those first two.
That Ignite very nearly did take it down. Fortunately for Zekent, it did not debuff the healing enough to keep him from falling. He survived with about 30 HP at the end of that one. So the Summoner heal getting him out of a really bad situation there. That if he had gone with the Ignite, he probably would not have been able to survive. Bubbadub did not try to flash forward to try to aggressively pick that up. He maybe could have gotten that kill down, but with IWillDominate in the area, it most certainly would have been the Sona going down in return. So that's just a wise play. Discretion is indeed the better part of Valor.
Well, Cop now in a little bit of a 2v1 situation, and Westrice actually in a 1v1 situation here, getting that slicing maelstrom popped upon him. He's going to wind up walking away for now. Cop, in the meantime, had to be forced away from that bottom lane side. You don't necessarily want to be in a 2v1 situation despite picking up that first blood. He only has boots over the enemy AD carry, so he's not going to be the beefiest member of Curse Gaming for the time being, but now it's going to be a struggle of who winds up hitting that level 6 first. If Sona pops a crescendo, Cop is going to have a spell shield available for that one, but he could take a lot of damage from the culling here. Robert's going to get knocked up on the bubble, but in comes BrokenShard. Hasn't really made a presence on the map quite yet, but he's going to do it right now. Cataclysm goes down on the Cop. He winds up popping the ultimate, trying to run away from this one. Gets down super low, but the heal there is there from Nami. Zekent's going to keep him alive for the time being, and no kills going in favor of TBD.
Man, the Cop saved that ultimate until right when the Cataclysm fell, so that he knew he would get the maximum duration on that move speed, that was one of the quality of life buffs that Sivir got, was that on the hunt no longer stops you from running to cast it. So that was exactly what Cop needed to get himself back out of that. When you saw how incredibly fast he was with Boots 1 compared to everybody else not having that, Westrice is going to have to use the ult to try to get out of this one.
Yeah, has to pop the dragons in order to get away, but he's dropping extremely low in this one. Dominate has a red buff, but he's not going to wind up diving too far under tower. Westrice going to live for the time being. BrokenShard going to go towards that red buff, and now there might be a little bit of a jungler dance for that. Pop down in the bottom lane here where Robert's trying to get some damage down onto Zekent. Cop's been healed back up because of those Nami waves. However, Robert here is going to be the aggressor yet still as he forces Cop and Zekent back underneath their tower, up to the top area of the map where that red buff is still being contested right now. Dominate is going to wind up stealing that one away from BrokenShard, and unfortunately for this side of TBD, I can't help but think that a lot of their troubles are stemming from the fact that BrokenShard has made no impact on the game yet.
Yeah, it's been very difficult for him to try to show up and really make his presence felt. He's been kind of just answering the aggression that's been going around. He's been trying to just get a little bit of farm going, just try to push himself into that mid game. A little bit surprised because generally speaking, he's one of the junglers that we see making a big impact in the early game, and thus far he's been, silent.
Yeah, Curse got those early wards down to really keep track of his motions, and Dominate was able to go places, and because of that successful gank on Westrice on the top side of the map, BrokenShard's kind of been playing defense rather than going for those early aggressive ganks that we expect out of him. Bottom lane, no, there's the crescendo right there, not going to be spell shielded away. Barrier has to go off. Good bubble's going to stop Robert. Flash forward from Bubbadub and the Ignite. Is it going to be enough? No, but that Q from Robert's going to be enough. Sniped up from under tower. That's a long-range shot there from Robert. He picks up the kill onto Cop, and it looks like they're going to try to put a little bit of damage on this tower, but with Dominate in the area, they got to be a little bit careful.
Beautiful play there by ROBERTxLEE, lining up the Q. onto the support so that he could actually snipe down the AD carry and put that 300 gold on himself rather than onto Bubbadub. Very, very just fine mechanical play there on the Lucian, being able to track that one down. And, I mean, a little bit kind of questionable from Cop to stick around and actually give him that gold. Like, if 300 gold goes to support, that sucks. But if 300 gold goes to the enemy AD carry, that sucks a lot worse.
Especially the fact that Cop may have gotten first blood, but he's been zoned in this lane quite hard, almost 20 CS behind ROBERTxLEE. So that's kind of going to balance things out and even shove things a little bit more in the favor of TBD's AD carries. We see he's about 300 gold behind. That kill pretty much making all the difference on that bottom side of the map. Dominate is going to come down here and try to force them back, but by forcing them back, Robert's going to be able to spend some of that money he's got right here. He's going to try to stop the back for as long as possible here, just being a bit of a nuisance. And if that bottom lane does get shoved away here by Curse Gaming, we could see a dragon attempt.
Absolutely, and that's what they're trying to buy time for right here. They want to get Cop back into the fray and just delay the back coming out from the AD carry and support combinations so that they can pick this one up. They do have to worry about Arthelon coming back down. While he only has a Chalice and Endurance, he's quite strong, but Bubbadub in a lot of trouble.
Ooh. Tidal Wave misses, but it doesn't matter because everything else connects, and that takes Bubbadub's health bar down to absolute 0 right there. He's going to wind up falling down, and now with Curse taking out the support here from TBD, they know they could only possibly be a 3v4 situation. Now it's going to be a smite war between BrokenShard and Dominate. Ziggs bomb goes down, but Dominate's smite holds true. Cataclysm gets popped on Zekent without the Tidal Wave available. He can't turn around, but Voyboy has the damage to take down BrokenShard. Robert flanking from the side, flash and repel go out for Dominate. He's kind of in here all by himself, doesn't have the cocoon available. Robert's going to pick up a kill on Dominate, so it's a 1-for-1 trade, but Curse snagged the dragon.
It's an issue we see time to time from junglers who have very long initiation ranges, that sometimes they get a little too far out ahead of their team, and their team can't back them up. That's what happened to IWillDominate there. He flashed, used to repel over the wall, and had no team support there. ROBERTxLEE, he's going to be fine. Gets himself out of that one with the E. But, I mean, Dominate with a very aggressive play after the dragon, and that is, generally speaking, one of the times where you can catch people unawares. He thought that he had caught ROBERTxLEE out, but he kind of forgot that, you know what, Lucian sort of does a lot of damage.
Yeah, Lucian with a BF Sword and a Vampiric Scepter, almost a Bloodthirster under his belt, definitely going to deal a lot. We see an Arcane shift forward from Voyboy onto Arthelon, takes a lot of damage here. Arthelon just going to continue to chase this one down. Voyboy drops extremely low. There's auto attacks going off. Arthelon, does he have anything else available? Nope, just a couple more tosses right there, forcing Voyboy out of lane, and a very interesting kind of trade situation there, as now Voyboy has to sit back and farm under tower.
Yeah, Voyboy, I mean, let's see, how much gold does he have in the inventory? He's got 2,300 gold, so he knows he's planning on backing soon, and he knew that Arthelon had no ultimate because of his attempt to steal Dragon with it. So he felt confident playing aggressively and just basically trying to min-max. He's like, well, I'm kind of at full health and I'm planning on going back to base anyway. I might as well make him burn a bunch of stuff. Maybe I can get a summoner out. And, you know, even if I have to use my barrier or something like that, if he flashes to try to pick up a kill and all I have to do is barrier and then I have my arcane shift come back up, then I'm going to be fine. So just kind of playing it right down to the wire. He was pretty confident that there wasn't going to be any Jarvan action going on, so he tried to bait that one out as best he can. But now he's going to go back to base, finish up his Mana Moon, grab up a Vamp Scepter, and he's going to be in a pretty solid spot in that mid lane.
Well, so far we've seen Curse be the aggressor and forcing TBD to be able to react to what they're going to be doing. No towers have gotten down quite yet, but the advantages for Curse have been established. We saw them just take the dragon just a couple minutes ago, and in that top lane matchup, the CS is definitely in favor of Curse. We see Quas with a 118 compared to 62 CS lead, and well, we saw Zekent trying to set something up with a Nami bubble in that bottom lane. Wasn't going to wind up landing down onto ROBERTxLEE, however. He does have a 111 CS compared to 93 advantage in that Lucian over Sivir matchup, and I mean, we've harped on a couple times. Lucian and Sona, a very poke-heavy lane, hard to deal with, but so is a lot of jungle pressure in the top lane here. Dominate actually throws out the cocoon on the Westrice, not going to wind up connecting, but we could potentially see this tower going down with the combined pressure from Curse.
Yeah, we should take a quick moment to talk about the CS gap between these two top laners right now. Quas almost doubling Westrice in CS at this point. He is just murdering him in this lane. Gonna let the creeps take down as many, the tower rather, take down as many of these creeps as possible before the creeps get their vengeance. But Westrice is just, he has had no fun whatsoever. As you see, the early build here is not that strong, and now Quas and Dominate looking to pressure these objectives.
BrokenShard is going to be able to get this red this time around for himself. Has to use the smite to take that one away. Arthelon came up to apply a little bit of support from that mid lane area, whereas Voyboy is content on just keeping his CS lead over the enemy AP mid laner here. Would you say that Voyboy did wind up going back and went for that Mana Moon Ace? He's going to be going towards a Muramana, trying to stack that one up as quickly as possible. Already about halfway there, and he has a Vampiric Scepter in his inventory as well. So not the standard Trinity Force Rush style on Ezreal. He's going for more of that mid lane centric build that we've seen from Korea, still harping on that Muramana.
Yeah, just kind of getting as much cheap effectiveness as possible to utilize that. And when you're in the mid lane, you have the availability of the blue buff. You can stack that up very, very quickly. You don't have to be too stingy with your mana. You can use any of the essence fluxes that you like. So it's a very efficient build, which is what he's going for right now. He needs early game power. Cop initiating yet another trade. Here's the tidal wave.
Tidal Wave comes out, but Cop has been chunked down low. Spell Shield was gone, so there's a crescendo. In comes Quas, though, from top lane. Flash throw with the Slicing Maelstrom. Bubbadub gets stunned up. Quas is going to pick up a kill for himself. And that's an unexpected Kennen. And, ooh, there's actually the ultimate coming out from Ezreal, chunking down Robert under tower, has to pop the culling to try to wave clear right here, but with that tower extremely low in the bottom lane side, that one might actually wind up going down. BrokenShard and Arthelon have to come over here. There's the ultimate coming in from Zigs, and the Cataclysm on the Quas. The Cataclysm locks up Quas outside the bomb range, so two ultimates pop, two very low members of the side of TBD in the bottom lane, and they're gonna have to back away.
Yeah, BrokenShard really wanted to lock them up and basically in with the creep wave. The Ziggs ultimate was as much to clear out the creeps as it was for anything else. They want to stall out this push, and if he could lock them up and get enough damage down on the champions, they could actually save the tower by killing all the creeps and then actually putting enough pressure down onto the champions that they needed to head back to base. They were not able to make that happen, and so you see Cursor continuing the push.
Well, Quas already with Azanya's Hourglass here is going to be putting a lot of poke down onto an already low HP Robert, so even though he has a Bloodthirster in Lucian's inventory, just CSing against his minions is not going to be as effective as possible. Two-shot barrage up again already. Like you said, the benefits of that blue buff on a mid lane Ezreal shining through right there, winds up hitting BrokenShard and stopping him from going back. Dominate actually going to come down this mid lane matchup here. Dime wants to jump down on Arthelon here, repel under tower range, flash away right there, so no summoners left on Ziggs in the mid lane, but he did wind up escaping with his life.
Was able to get himself out of that one, but the pressure they were applying there kind of pinned Arthelon to that tower. Arthelon didn't have an opportunity to just like use the Hextech explosive minefield to kill the creep wave and then head to bottom to help them keep that alive. So because Voyboy was able to lock him to his own tower, and then Dominate came in and applied pressure and actually pushed him off of that tower, they're going to get the bottom lane tower, and we're going to find Arthelon missing a pretty, basically a full wave here to this mid lane.
And we do see Bubbadub just going to leech up that delicious experience for himself in that mid lane matchup, but communication has kind of been the theme here for Curse, whether it be going in for ganks or whether it be their motions across the map to take down these towers about the 15-minute mark. The communication with them has seemed to be pretty much spot on, give or take one or two instances where Dominate has maybe repelled a little bit too far for his teammates to catch up right here. Whereas on the side of TBD, it looks like that Curse is trying to cause a bit of chaos. They shut down BrokenShard in the early game, and when he's trying to go and force these plays, they're just not coming to the side of TBD because either they don't have enough farm, they don't have enough itemization, or his teammates just aren't quite on the same page. Like we saw with that Mega Inferno Bomb Cataclysm, just didn't wind up going together. We actually see already the Sivir ultimate being popped right here. Bubbadub's gonna get caught out here by Dominate, winds up landing the cocoon down onto BrokenShard. Tidal Wave comes through from Nami. There's a crescendo though. It looks like Robert comes in the backside here. He's turned to Assassin Lucian right now. Picks up a kill for himself. One goes over the Sona, dueling Voyboy. A second kill for that, while Arthelon wants to pick up a kill for himself as well. Dominate's gonna finally take down Bubbadub, but that is a 3-for-1 in favor of TBD, making a play they had to make.
We see they're still fighting over on the blue buff on this one. Who's going to grab it? IWillDominate smites it away. So ROBERTxLEE tries to take that one down. The Cocoon going to go in onto Arthelon. IWillDominate's continuing this engagement.
Yeah, looks like actually Dominate going to be in a 1v2 situation. Not the best for him. Quas has come all the way down from top lane, though. That's let Westrice pick up a tower for himself. So in a surprising turn of events, we see TBD getting some kills that they need, getting a tower down, and letting Westrice enter Westrice split push mode. They have given up this mid lane tower and all of the outer towers on their side to do so, but they still have signs of life in this one.
That ROBERTxLEE deserves so much credit for that fight. He came in from behind, used the culling immediately, just split Curse's focus in half. The three of them were basically in the middle of this, what ended up being kind of a pincer movement coming out from TBD. He split the focus of the fight. They turned around, they tried to do something with him. He made some fantastic mechanical plays. Quas trying to chase down Westrice in the top lane, can't keep up with the ridiculous move speed on Burnout. But ROBERTxLEE, and then to cap it all off, after splitting the fight, after dealing ridiculous amounts of damage, he was able to use his E once again to dodge the ultimate coming out from Voyboy, keep himself alive in that one, keep himself safe, and TBD, they're clawing their way back into this one very slowly, but very surely.
Yeah, and they actually wound up securing themselves the second dragon of the game. Ziggs actually goes up in the air, but gets snagged in a bubble and brought back down to earth very slowly right there. But no capitalization from Quas and Zekent in that mid lane here. So now the gold counts have kind of settled down. Curse is still in the lead by about 2,500. It's 29.2k compared to 26.5k. 6 kills compared to 5. The towers are in the advantage for the side of Curse Gaming, but the dragons have been evened up here by Team TBD, and now it's up to Curse to make the next move. So far, they've had TBD reacting what they have to do, and this is the first time that TBD has been able to react accordingly and come out ahead. Curse are kind of grouping up towards this mid lane area. We're gonna have to see, does the poke from these double AD carries start factoring in, as well as the shurikens coming out from Kennen? Do they siege towers? Do they split? We're gonna have to find out here.
Alright, so we'll see what the final build is coming out here from these guys as well. That's going to play a huge part in it as well. You see Comp, he's picked up the Bloodthirster. He's going straight in for the Last Whisper after that, as he's just trying to get as much poke effectiveness as he can. Voyboy, similar situation, that Mana Muna pretty close to the Mura Mana, and so it's those Qs, they're going to start hitting pretty hard. But then again, I mean, he's got a lot of scaling left to go. It's not that, like, one Q takes, 15% of even a tank's health. We're not quite at that phase of the game just yet. But Voyboy, he's getting there pretty quickly as he's rolling around here with the double buffs.
Yeah, and actually he's gone back and picked up that Sheen, so he has the procs available for that, and we'll have to see if he goes with that Iceborne Gauntlet style of Ezreal with the Mirror Mana. Wouldn't be surprised, because with Dominate being the only tanky member on the team, they're going to need a little bit of kite in order to get the Kennen re-engaged in a proper position here. But one thing that they are also counting on is the fact that Shyvana is split pushing top lane, so they can siege down on this tower, try to poke off the 4 members of TBD, and unless Sona gets a great flash crescendo here, followed by a Cataclysm lockup, Curse knows that they have the ability to kite and have the ability to try to turn this around.
Exactly, so we see Voyboy taking a little bit too much poke here. He's going to have to get himself away from this one and heal up. And Westrice he's gone for the Ravenous Hydra, because what he needs to do is to be able to clear these waves out as quickly as possible. And even the burnout, even the Shyvana E, what is it? Flame Breath. Even the Flame Breath, even the Burnout are not clearing out the waves quickly enough. They need to put an extremely short timer onto the side of Curse. They need to be able to force him to make those decisions very quickly of, oh, do we need to continue sieging this, or do we have to actually respond? And the fact that he's got Ravenous Hydra plus everything else, it takes about maybe, what, 1 second to clear out an entire creep wave right now for that Shyvana?
Yeah, very effective split pusher Shyvana already is, and adding that Ravenous Hydra is a way to make her, well, a threat across the map. Now, Curse, they're going to have to capitalize here. They gotten that mid tower down extremely low, but Westrice is able to pick up a tier 2 tower for himself, so this would only actually be an equalizing on the amount of tier 2 towers down, although it does still increase Curse's overall gold lead in towers from 4 to 2. Now, Westrice has gone and made his motion down into the bottom lane because there's 2 juicy looking towers for himself to go over there, but with a member on the bottom side of the map, this gives Curse this control around the Baron pit area. They are going to ward it up right now and potentially try to bait TBD into something. We'll have to see when they actually wind up going for it, though, because in a 4v5 with Baron situation, it's a very dangerous situation for TBD. They don't want to give that one up for free.
Absolutely not. But so much of Curse's lineup revolves around team fighting. Is that this is a big part of it. Like Ezreal is good at it's like just kind of whittling people down before fights start and then getting started here. And actually we see Curse. They know that all the vision is down. The Ziggs ultimate has already been used to reveal this. They know that Shyvana is still in the bottom lane, and they're going to try to burn this Baron back down before TBD can respond.
Yeah, Westrice is actually doing double golems, waiting for waves of minions to hit the tower. TBD are being super cautious about this one. You know, Bubbadub finally putting a ward over the wall, but he gets a bubble in the face for his troubles. Baron goes down as Dominate smites that one. Curse a little bit torn if they're going in or backing up from that one. Finally decides to disengage. They get a Baron, but they might wind up losing 2 towers for it.
That was very nice play by them taking that down, but again, this is what we were talking about. Westrice is putting the timer on the clock that he has got for them is so short. They have to decide almost immediately as soon as they see him pushing down, because look at this. He had maybe a little over 1 wave of creeps that actually arrived to the tower with him, and just like that, he's able to take that tower down. Then they lose the mid tower because they have to back away from the remaining 4 members of To Be Determined. So just like that, while the Baron does go over to the side of Curse, To Be Determined actually take the tower lead, and they close the goal to within 600.
Yeah, now that TBD has gold on their side, they're going to wind up going back, and now it's up to them to defend against Curse with a Baron buff that is going to push upon them. Now, Baron gives its weight in gold and statistics in and of itself, but now that the evening up of the global gold counts has come in here, some of those incomplete items for the side of TBD are now finished. We have not only an Athene's and Holy Grail, but a death cap picked up for Arthelon Ziggs, so Ziggs is going to be packing a wallop of a punch. We have already ROBERTxLEE going for a Static Shiv Bloodthirster, has pieces for his last Last Whisper, although it's not yet to be completed. Flip onto the other side here. Curse, they have that Baron buff available, and they have to actually, flash away from Bubbadub here. As I say, if they go for a pick right here, TBD's not going to be able to contest this, but Cop getting caught out here by Westrice. Burnout is available. Looks like Voyboy's going to force him back, but it's kind of forcing him back towards Curse's side of the map. Now, do they go for a Benny Hill chase here? Has yet to be seen, or do they try to turn around and force something against TBD? It's so dangerous because Shyvana, in and of herself, like we said before, she's like a mini army right now.
Yeah, Shyvana has a hidden passive plus 70 million effectiveness when Benny Hill music is playing, because with that consistent attack, like move speed buff from Burnout, you cannot catch her, like unless you're, I don't know, singed with Ghost. That's pretty much the only way you're ever going to catch Westrice, and he's using this he's getting some pretty good effectiveness out of this now. He wasn't having the best time with his split push before, but now you see he's pushing down creep waves, taking away red buffs, just running through towers in the mid lane, applying damage to creep waves there, and okay, drawing aggro from carries, and okay, this could be a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, this could be dangerous. If Westrice goes down without taking somebody with him, as well, he's actually just been caged here by Curse Gaming. He winds up going down. Now, that's one big member of TBD down. Curse still has 5 available. They have a Baron buff, a refresh blue buff here for Voyboy, and they are hungry to push down a lane altogether.
You can say that Westrice got a little greedy for the value there. He thought, you know, okay, I can take away the red buff, maybe I can take away some wolves, maybe we can do that. Oh, it's just me and the AD carry, I can take this guy. Oh, and then there's everyone else. And then he kind of just died quietly, which is not common for dragons.
No, it's very uncommon for dragons to actually die quietly. Normally they make a lot of noise. They're normally in caves too, and they have a pile of gold, so it echoes, and it could potentially cause earthquakes too. Didn't know if you knew that, but I've actually been around the block of ye olde Europe and ye olde England in particular, so I know a thing or two about how loud dragons can be. But this is the siege coming out from Curse Gaming right now. They have the Baron buff available, they have double buffs on Voyboy, and they have a ton of poke on their side. Kennen, Sivir Boomerang, and of course the Ezreal Qs coming out. I mean, the Mystic Shots alone are chunking down people now that Miramon has been completed. They're going to actually wind up backing away after they force TBD into their own base and kind of take everything else away. So Westrice has been taking their buffs, taking their jungle camps. They're like, okay, well, we're going to take everything else we can on the map. They take that dragon, and there's still 2 towers on the map here. We'll have to see what Curse does, because to be completely honest, MalfusX, this Baron buff doesn't have a lot of time left on it, and so far all they've gotten is a Westrice and another dragon.
Exactly, yeah, and that's what Westrice needed to get done. If he's going to play that split push, if he's going to apply that threat to the sidelines, if he's going to be trying to spread Curse out like that, this is exactly the kind of play that he needed to make. So big props to him for actually getting that done. Voyboy, you know, we were talking a little bit before about whether he's going to go for a Triforce build or a little bit more of the blue Ezreal build that we see here. He's gone for the Iceborne Gauntlet. I think this is a very, very smart pickup. If they're trying to make like good poke happen under towers, generally speaking, Iceborne Gauntlet will give you a little bit more bang for your buck because of the AoE that it applies. Also, it makes it more difficult for teams to initiate into you, as if they have to run at you and they keep getting chain slowed again and again and again. It's almost impossible to make that happen. But right now, the biggest threat is honestly going to be Westrice, as he is about to overtake Voyboy as having the highest CS on the map, as he's continuing to apply pressure down to the bottom lane, and Curse have yet to find an answer for it.
Well, with Westrice away in the bottom lane and the vision control absolutely in Curse's favor, if TBD stay to defend this outer tower in the top lane, they could wind up getting pinched and much like Westrice did. There's a flash initiation from Quas going down. Arthelon gets stunned up, drops the mega explosive bomb, but he's not going to wind up doing not enough damage in that situation. Dominate picks up a kill for himself, and that's the power of 5v4 numbers game right there for Curse.
Exactly, and they need to get more done for this right now. They took down one tower. They need to try to take down a second one, as they know that they have the 4v3 advantage up in that top lane. Quas going to buy the home guard's going to head back out, so he's going to do what he can to keep Westrice from pushing this down. Turns out Kennen pretty good at stopping Shyvana at actually being able to get anything done here. And we see the decision is to actually go over the wall.
Ooh, Bubbadub goes down to the True Shot Barrage. Cataclysm comes out onto Dominate and Zekent, but he has to flash out of his own Cataclysm. Robert drops down extremely low as a double kill gets picked up for Voyboy right there. Westrice is turned tail and gone home from this one. He's going to wind up coming up here into top lane, but the inhibitor tower is going to go down. Curse are going to be banging on the inhibitor right here. Can Westrice and BrokenShard take this 2v4? Westrice goes in. He's tanking up damage. He's dealing damage. Can he get Voyboy down? The kite too strong. Cop picks up the kill and saves Voyboy's life. Arthelon back on the map. The inhibitor down to about half HP. Curse going for this one, but Cop gets a little bit too ballsy right there. Arthelon makes him pay for it, but Zekent finally picks up the inhibitor. Quas comes back in from the bottom side of the map. Arthelon has to flash away, and all in all, Curse come out ahead. They take down the inhibitor.
Oh man, that was so very, very close. Voyboy taken down to below 40 health. Arthelon has the ultimate back up again as well. I don't know if he wants to try to make any sort of exploratory ultimates, if he wants to try to snipe somebody down on that one. But Curse, that's the response to the Shyvana split push, is just force the issue where the Shyvana is not. And they did a fantastic job of it. Voyboy getting so much poke down over the wall, was able to eventually just hop into the base and say, okay, I'm going to go kill Bubbadub now, and we'll see what happens after that. Eventually, the team just collapsed around ROBERTxLEE, because without Sona, they don't really have any sort of appeal for him whatsoever. And even then, Sona basically just has Crescendo and I guess you can say Song of Celerity with its power chord, but that's pretty much all they have to keep ROBERTxLEE safe, and that's not a whole lot against champions that are as mobile as Ezreal, as Elise, as Kennen, if Quas is able to get himself up into the fight. So it's a very, very tenuous situation for TBD to maintain their 4v4 or 4v3 in that case in favor of Curse this time around, if they're going to try to go for this hard split push.
Yeah, and like you said, that's the thing. There's no real appeal for Robert, who is all the damage in a situation like that, when Westrice is away. Westrice, I mean, he's a tank and he can sit there and take a lot of poke and punishment, but he's not going to be able to peel people off unless he kills people that are trying to attack Robert. It's really up to him to kind of keep himself kind of safe in this one, and we did have Bubbadub using the Crescendo on a single target of Voyboy in that engagement, rather than trying to lock up multiple members of Curse and saving his own life in that regard. Now that Baron is actually up on the map again, we're seeing a bit of a tussle going on for this one. Sivir's still trying to clear out waves in this mid lane, applying pressure to force TBD to be on the defensive from this one, whereas the 4 strong members of Curse Gaming are in the jungle, fighting in these tight kind of quarters that are going to wind up benefiting with that slicing Maelstrom available and the tidal wave from Nami. So actually a flash Crescendo, one getting spell shielded right there by Cop, and he's going to turn around on this one. Lots of damage coming out on the Bubbadub, barely going to survive from that one. Now the culling comes up from ROBERTxLEE. It's a 1v1 duel here as Cop and Robert just running away from each other. Flash actually into the center of the Mega Inferno Bomb, but Sivir's going to actually wind up living with their life there. Bubble goes down onto Westrice. TBD are sitting here because they know that Curse has been doing Baron the whole time. BrokenShard comes in, his smite's not going to land though. Dominate winds up taking that one for himself. True Shot Barrage rakes across the members of TBD in the pit. Robert trying to chase down the Dominate, will wind up getting the kill, but he's separated from the team. He goes down to Quas. BrokenShard gets out of the Baron pit, and all in all, it is a 1-for-1 fight. Baron going over to Curse, but Voyboy's not done yet. Essence Flux picks up the kill onto Sona. Arthelon has to jump away right here. Zekent did put one slow shot down onto him. Can Arthelon get away? BrokenShard at the same time being kited up in the top lane by Voyboy. Arthelon's gonna wind up going down as the boy shifts in, picks himself up another kill. 3 members down, 1 extremely low. TBD are in a dire situation here with 4 members of Curse wailing on the mid inhibitor.
Yeah, Curse is going to collapse down. They take down one inhibitor. They have a massive creep wave coming down to the bottom lane as well. They're probably going to be able to grab up all of the buildings without any response whatsoever from To Be Determined. And that was, I mean, Curse, they stuck to their guns. They said, we want to take down the Baron. We want to, use whatever forces we have to do to draw people away from that one. Even if it means, Cop, getting a little bit crazy there, getting kind of chased around by people. It doesn't really matter. He's Sivir. He's got the ultimate. He's going to be fine. They spread the team out. They kind of used To Be Determined's strategy against them, where they spread the team out, forced them to decide between picking up kills or defending objectives, and then just taking everything.
Level 13, BrokenShard goes down instantaneously there. Voyboy takes a lot of tower shots for his troubles, trying to pick up yet another kill in this one. But with 3 inhibitors down, TBD is looking like they might be down for the count in this one. 1 Nexus tower is already down. The home guards are coming out, trying to defend as much as possible. 4 members are up compared to the 4 that are left in the base from Curse Gaming. The Mega Explosive Bomb, or Inferno Bomb, goes out, but Arthelon's not able to pick up a kill on a very elusive Voyboy right here. Curse know that they still have Baron on 4 members. They know that every inhibitor is only 1 Nexus tower is up. They're going to back away and play this one safe. In TBD, they're forced to stay in their base and try to defend and play, well, pretty much tower defense right now.
It's very difficult to land a Mega Inferno Bomb on an Ezreal who's watching for it. And Voyboy, he knew that it was coming out. He knew that he had gotten poked down in range, but he also knew that Arthelon wasn't going to have vision of him once he crossed a certain point in the base, or felt confident that he wasn't going to have vision of him. So he just kind of waited until they saw where the Mega Inferno Bomb was going to go, and then was able to get himself out of that one. So it's just Curse. I mean, they're in control of this one right now. All 3 inhibitors are down, so 6 super minions spawning every 30 seconds to push in with the rest of the creeps across the map. And To Be Determined, if they do have an answer for this one, I would love to see what it is.
Yeah, their options are looking a little bit limited right now. It's a 10,000 gold deficit for them. 15 kills compared to 7, and there's only 1 tower left on the map for themselves. Their itemization, it's not that bad though. We have ROBERTxLEE with a pretty much all the core items he needs, but on the opposite side, he's facing down against 280 carries that have pretty much similar itemization, or at least progress even further than him in that item build right now. Westrice has gotten himself to be absolutely massive. He hit level 18 while Quas was still level 15, but he hasn't really been able to make an impact in these team fights because, like you said, TBD don't really have crowd control if Bubbadub whiffs a crescendo. Crescendo is going to be a big thing here in this tower defense, but Bubbadub has to not die. Two-shot barrage goes across, there goes the crescendo. It's gone. No crowd control is left available for the side of TBD, so Curse can sit here, and they're still playing the poke game with only one Nexus tower left. BrokenShard goes in, Tidal Wave goes out, Cataclysm goes down, and a lot of damage from the culling. Voyboy has to flash away from that one. Cop picks up a kill on the Nexus tower. Westrice trying to pick up kills on the members of Curse Gaming. The Nexus is still alive. TBD trying to turn this one around, but Quas gets a double kill for himself. Westrice goes down to Kennen the Little Ninja as well. Now it's Robert against the world here. Can he take down 3 members of Curse Gaming? Quas says quadra kill. It says no. Nexus goes down, and Curse Gaming take the victory.
Just strong team fighting there for Team Curse. I mean, they drew it out, they kited him around. Quas was able to use his ultimate to split the fight in half, deal incredible amounts of damage, and just clean everybody up. I mean, that was just Quas the janitor coming in and getting a quadra kill. But the thing is, he was kind of cleaning up his own mess, because he was the one who chunked most of those people down from about half health. So just, you know, Curse, they played that very patiently. They took down all the objectives. They knew they had control, and they weren't quick to force any sort of nasty engagements. That was a really nice fight with their backs up against the wall from To Be Determined. They used the Cataclysm and the Mega Inferno Bomb beautifully. I mean, it just got so much damage, and all that AoE burst that was coming out from Zigs was a big part of that. Westrice was finally able to pick up another HP item, which is what I've been kind of waiting for him to grab for a long time now as he started moving in towards that Random and Omen. He just picked up that Giant's Belt right before that last fight and also burned through a red elixir to give himself some extra HP, which is kind of the missing ingredient from his tanky build. So once he had that, I mean, you saw how long it took for them to take him down, but by the time he was really able to get a good initiation down, ROBERTxLEE had already been separated from the fight, and Curse, you know, that superior team fight management shone through.
Well, you got to give credits to Voyboy for taking the crescendo out of the equation before it could even wind up being a factor in that fight. Bubbadub got sniped up by 2 Mystic Shots, an Essence Flux, and a True Shot barrage to take him down before that fight actually even began, and that's when Curse just released the floodgates and wound up going in for the victory, guys. Now, we still got plenty of League of Legends action heading your way at the NACL, but this is, of course, the